They said like give us Endemar, give us that man, and we'll leave you alone. And they said no. So then the natural response for a muster is to start shooting.
Actually, they didn't say that. They said stop or else we'll shoot. And Jin
Oh
took
yeah, but they didn't
everyone
stop.
off.
Sorry, they were gonna say give us Endemar, but then they didn't stop, so they started shooting.
So basically, we
Hmm.
were just trying to defend you guys because they were shooting at you because Jin was escorting you guys to the brother hall.
Well, I mean, maybe I'm biased, but that seems like a reasonable reaction from the muster, you know?
Maybe you are biased, John. um, but anyway, you guys spend the night in the Brother Battle hiring hall. They give you comfy beds that actually manage to be underground, so you guys are safe. And there's no disturbance in the night. You guys wake up pretty late the next morning, since you were all up pretty late. It was like, we're talking like 4 or 5 in the morning when you guys fell asleep, so it was probably like almost noon when you guys wake up. Um, what are you looking to do?
Oh,
Let's
God.
see. So we got Endemar, and wasn't that's what we needed to do? What did we find
Oh,
out from him?
Santino was voicing his opinion that what we should do now is go to Cole von Heller and give him a fake body and say it's Endemar and say we killed him.
No, he was saying that the Vestes burned his body
Right, but
before
like
he
to
could
take
become.
a burnt body from Endemar's place. That's what he would say if he was here. He said you guys should do that.
And our whole goal is to get off the planet, right?
I mean, your whole goal is to do whatever the hell you want to do.
Did we ever go check out that building full of the Second Republic tech?
Nope.
No, you guys decided to spend the night somewhere and come back then when it was darker, but you got distracted. You know, it was like daytime and you guys wanted to come back in the middle of the night, but then you got distracted when you took a shotgun jet blast to the chest.
That does have a way of sidetracking people.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what it was. Because it was daytime when you guys first found it, but then you went to go find out what happened to Aaron, and then you took a shotgun blast to the chest, and then you spent the night at the Avesti place. I mean, at the Amalthean place.
Which then got totally ruined.
Got raided a little bit. It's fine.
Right, that they killed everyone in there.
Pretty much. Not everyone. You don't know that. But anyway, so what do you guys want to do?
Oh, did I recognize the soldiers that were raiding the place?
Like what alliance they were from, or just who
Yeah.
they were? You
What
didn't
a,
recognize them specifically. Alliance-wise, they looked like Muster. Oh, I'm sorry, not Muster. Avestites, flamethrower guys. So let me detail your options here, more or less, as I see them. Your options are to get the hell off planet with Endemar and Aaron and Ella, and that's one option. Second option is to go after the Second Republic tech, which, if you remember, was heavily guarded by Muster and Al Malik retainers, so it would be very difficult to get in there. You're not fighting your way in, I'll say that. And sneaking in would probably be difficult. Um, you could also do what Santino would want to do, which is take a burned body to Cole von Heller and try and get your payment from him for having killed Endemar. Your other option is to try and figure out what the hell's going on with Everlight, the moon, which is supposedly going to crash into the world. Um,
I like Santino's plan because that gets us paid.
okay. So I'm assuming you want to leave Endemar at the Brother Battle Place or somewhere else.
yes.
Well, you may have to convince Jin about that because he probably wouldn't want a breach of integrity like that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Jin, do you tell your superiors about Endemar? Like, or do you somehow communicate to them what Endemar is?
What was he again? I'm sorry. I feel like I'm missing so much information because I
Terminal.
haven't played in a while.
He's a cannibal because there's a nanotech, like he was a nanotech experimenter, and these nanotech bots basically infected him and made him like a cannibal. So he like if he doesn't eat meat, like human meat, he'll just die. And so,
Yes, I would probably go straight to there and report that.
okay, so in which case the Brother Battle Superiors say that they refuse to house. They will let Endemar stay the night, but they refuse to house him for any longer than they must. In which case, you guys can't leave him here.
Can I maybe talk to them about getting him help?
Yeah, sure. I mean, you're going to talk to one of your superiors and say what? Like, call in a different sect of the church?
I'm basically going to communicate them as this guy is very sick and needs to be fixed. I mean, he obviously doesn't want to be like this.
But also
So,
keep in mind, you have a vow for the dead, and he eats dead people. I'm not sure you'd want to do
yes.
that.
So I'd want to get it so he's not desecrating the dead anymore
That's true.
by some means. So
Okay.
I'd either want to get him fixed or kill him.
Okay,
One of the
so
two.
your superiors are like, no, there's no way. We're not housing him. This is ridiculous. That's absurd. And you want to tell them, like, we need to help him? Is that right, Jen?
Well, if they're that adamant about it, then I probably would back off because I'm not very high ranked.
Okay.
So I would just go and say, you can't stay here. We'll get you help somewhere else.
So what are you guys going to do?
Why don't we stash him at Mama Jazzy's for a few hours?
Sounds good. Do you guys want to do that?
Yeah.
But is there a way for me to communicate, like, to Edamar, like, how much time do you have before something has to happen because I'm not letting you eat another dead person?
I mean, for storytelling purposes, we can just say that you managed to figure out how to say that to him. Or actually, who within the party would you say that you're closest to? Devona, John, or Santino? Whoever it is, then they...
John, you sent me that message a while ago about the sign language, right? I know I didn't respond to that. You sent that to me, right?
Did I? I don't remember. I'm sorry.
I think it may have been because you sent me something because you're a soldier and Jin is a soldier of sorts, so like they would both kind of know sort of a way of
I think you're talking
communicating.
about. I think that's Santino.
Or it may have been Sentient. I don't know. I have the message here, but hang on. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay, yeah, sorry, it was Santino.
Okay, so then you could say that Santino manages to communicate that, to which Endemar says, I have no clue. I still have to eat regular foods, but I'm not sure how long before I feel that craving again.
And I basically tell him, eat another dead person and I will kill you.
Whew. All right.
So you better figure out a
you
way to
know-
fix yourself fast.
I'm just saying, I appreciate your whole respect for the dead thing, but it's better than him eating a living person.
My
I
character
say
will kind
adamantly,
of
you
step
better not
in.
be eating any person.
My character will kind of be
That's
like,
the whole idea.
sorry. My character would be like, well, we could have him eat like an arm and we replace it with a cybernetic one.
If it's human flesh, why not just eat his own arm?
I'm gonna say that wasn't self-explanatory.
I don't know, but that would be my look on the deal. Basically, either if you want to keep Edamar alive, you got to find a way to fix him because I'm not going to let him desecrate the dead again. And I'm going to be very adamant about that. Like a very convincing masked glare.
It's not like they care, the dead people.
John's like,
clench my fist and get
I'm
it,
not
like-
defending him, but
I'm going to do the best that I can as an actual absolute piercing stare as I can with a mask on.
John.
Basically saying,
Look,
like,
I'm-
take that back.
I'm not defending the guy because let's face it, he's a fucking cannibal. But let's just try and be pragmatic about this. If he's got to eat people, it might as well be somebody who's already dead.
So I'm going to kind of think about that. Because I'm kind of torn between not wanting to let innocent man die, but also kind of what I'm doing. Well, hang on, let me think about this. I'm trying to look at it from my character's perspective and not my personal one.
Right, that's fair.
My character will be like, does your order take any of the dead? Or can he eat, like, the guilty, the sinners?
Oh, are you asking Indamar?
No, she's asking Jin.
Okay, that's what I thought. Just make sure.
Because she doesn't know his order at all, and she's not very faithful. She's kind of like John, close to the excommunicate side. If she's even been a part of the church, I don't know. Don't think the church is very happy with cyborg, tech-heavy engineers.
That's fair.
So I guess Jin would take a second to think about it, and he'd kind of communicate if they've threatened us first. Like basically, if it's an enemy in combat, then you can take a finger or a hand from the person. Just don't like rip into their chest and start chewing on livers or anything like that.
Indamar says, like, look, I'm sorry, it was an accident. I didn't mean to eat their eyeballs.
So, Devona's like, we got 3 dead mustards outside. Let's go harvest them.
Harvest? Oh, wow.
That's a really weird way of looking at it, but
Hey, actually, do those guys
Jin
have
will
any,
just kind of throw up his hands and watch. Just make sure you do it to his standards.
did those guys have any decent gear on them? Because they've been looking to pick up a pair of muster cuffs,
Handcuffs? Yeah, they had cuffs.
like the unbreakable special muster ones.
We'll say they were low ranking, and they were also in poor condition, but they are not... So they're not unbreakable, but they are, like, muster brand, you know what I mean? Off-brand.
Yeah, no, that's not really what I'm looking for, but thanks.
Okay. It doesn't really matter because you weren't there when the battle was over anyway.
That's fine. I started out with the idea that my character was going to be like this badass knife-wielding space marine kind of guy, but
That's
the
the
more-
impression I'm getting.
the more I play, the more I realize I'm the guy that plays dead and hides on the battlefield till it's over and then loots all the corpses.
I mean, you're killing it as it is, so it's fine. So where are you guys hiding in tomorrow? Mama Jazzy's?
Yeah, we'll see if she'll let us key. She will let us stash him
Mama
there.
Jazzy. So, okay. You guys take Endemar to Mama Jazzy, and she is happy with the idea as long as someone pays for his stay for the night. Or for the day.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure we've got the money. I'll pay for it.
Alright, it would just be 1 Firebird.
I was gonna pay
Right.
for it, but okay.
Should we leave Ella there too?
Up to you. What do you guys think?
You know what? Why don't we just stash all of our people that are following us around that aren't really, combat PC people?
So
like
you're gonna leave
Aaron.
Aaron too?
Yeah, with the understanding that, Endemar is not to eat them.
Right, of course.
Now, as we were leaving the brother place, we did stop by and harvest the few dead people to make sure he had something for to chew on.
And Jin will make sure to do a last rites sort of thing on the dead people for his own conscience.
Of course. Of course.
And I'll go through their pockets and make sure they don't have any spare change or anything.
Nothing special.
No firebirds.
So, are you guys going to go with Santina's plan to take a burnt body from Endemar's old apartment and take it to the to Cole von Heller?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we should get like a bag or something first because I don't think just dragging a burnt corpse through the streets is a fantastic idea.
Good plan. I was going to say something about that. Okay. So as you guys when you guys are taking the body through the streets, in a bag still, but nonetheless, it is a body in a bag.
Yeah,
And
we're still dragging a body bag through the streets.
so as you're moving through the slums, out of the alien slums and into the regular ones, as you know, you're actually stopped by a group of mantis knights. They're like accosting you, and they start,
Ugh,
and one of them, like they basically swoop out of nowhere, and there's like 4 or 5 of them, and they are like, they have their swords in their hands, and they're like, all right, we're taking a random sweep of the streets. What do you got in the bag there? And
I got
almost
this, guys.
almost instantly after he asks, actually, um, another voice is heard from behind you guys, and it's when you turn around, you actually see it's a young man. Doesn't seem to be a member of the actual Al Malik Knights, but he's dressed like one, like well groomed and bearded, and he's got elegant clothing and whatnot. And he starts speaking in the elegant tongue, which I don't think any of you know, to the Mantis Knight, almost condescending to him. And they start and the Mantis Guard and this leader of the like 4 or 5 Mantis Guard and the Al Malik guy start like getting into an argument, and they start using there's a little bit of like pushing and roughness, and one of the guards actually says, as they're starting to things start to get a little more rough, you actually hear boots coming from somewhere around you, like boots hitting the ground. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna look.
So we've got 5 Mantis Knights. You said an Al Malik, so nobleman.
A noble guy, yeah.
So a nobleman, and there's people running towards us.
Like you just hear someone. What are you rolling, Devona?
I was gonna see if who's the people that's coming towards us,
Oh, okay.
but that's a fail.
It is.
Is there a nice alley or something we can duck into and kind of get out of sight?
I mean, you're in the slums, so there's pretty much alleys everywhere.
Well, let's jump into a nearby alley.
Yeah, let's just pretend that this is none of our business and go about our day.
Okay, so if you guys need them to all succeed in like a sneak roll to just slip out of their vision while they're arguing. So all of you, what's your wait, I have your.
Let's see.
Okay, so John, for you that would be where are your skills? Ah, there we go. I don't think you have sneak. Oh, you do. 6. Ooh, that's pretty good.
I don't have sneak.
Oh.
Yeah, you do. It's a natural skill. So
Where?
you have basic 3.
Where is it?
That is true. You should
Oh,
have it.
there it is. Yeah, I have 3. Never mind. Ha.
So just 3?
Yeah, just 3.
Okay.
Is it sneak? Are we doing a dex plus sneak, or just sneak alone?
I'm checking that right now. I'm pretty sure it's with wits, but I'm not entirely sure. So let me check. Hold on. Where do you...
Well, my thing is 11. Doesn't.
It's
matter
dexterity and it's dexterity and sneak.
Okay, so let's see. I have to hit an 11. D20. Woohoo!
John.
Nice.
All right. So you guys all succeeded, but barely. So you guys slip out of the vision of the guards and into an alley. And although you're out of their vision, you actually, one of you at the front, I'm going to say John, just for the sake of it. John, you bump into an Al Malik knight who that was where they were all coming from. So they're actually, they knock you almost to the side, and not as if they were trying to hit you, but they're like trying to get through. And this knight that knocks into you runs forward into the fray of arguing and starts and joins into the argument and starts arguing with them. And there's a few more knights behind him that are supporting him, and glancing back at this this meeting in the middle of the street, I guess you could say, it starts to become the Al Malik and the Decados, groups of about 10 of them are just arguing, and things are starting to turn violent. What do you guys do?
Not my circus, not my monkey.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh,
Like if I
Devona
don't
kind
have
of
any reason to get involved, why get involved?
Devona kind of wants to look at their gear real fast.
Just like glance over.
Yeah.
With the Al-Maliks, you're looking at like rapiers, knives, and revolvers, as well as energy shields. And with the Mantis Guard, that would be like that was shotgun, rapier, and knife, as well as like a leather jerkin and an energy shield.
So besides the energy shield, nothing interests her. So she's gonna move on. Hopefully, They'll all kill each other, and
Kind of dark, Devona. Wow.
Either way, they'll keep each other busy enough for us to, circumvent this whole situation.
yeah, she's
Okay.
hoping that she can come back and probably grab a few energy shields.
Okay, so you guys are out of there, and you take your body bags out over to the north side of town. We'll say. Are you guys on the map right now?
Nope.
I think you should be in roll 20. I mean,
Where
I
are
mean,
we?
I'm looking at the map.
yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were saying is all tokens on the map.
No. I just meant like you see the map. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, you guys make your way through the bazaar and into the north lane and through into the Decados Estates, back the way that you came from like 2 days ago ish. When you walk in the front door, things seem different. They're a little bit more tense. People seem to be very nervous, especially because you're in the noble part of town. So it's not like there's been rioting going on over here, but they are in fact very nervous about whatever seems to be going on between the looting and rioting, as well as the possibility of the moon crashing into the world. When you guys first come in, a servant approaches you and says, "Yes, who are you? State your business."
We're here to collect the bounty
On what and from whom?
from Von Heller and from the guy he was looking for that if you were important enough, you'd probably know.
The servant scowls at you and turns and walks away as if he's going somewhere. So, a couple of minutes pass, people are walking in different directions, and everyone's just it's weird because on one hand they're very relaxed about everything, but on the other hand, given how relaxed they are, they're still quite tense. But whatever the case, so another another servant comes out to meet you and says, please, this way, and guides you back to the interior garden that you were at last time, where there's like this, the big gem-encrusted gazebo, and in the same spot as last time, good old Baron Cole von Heller. He stands up, and it's almost like it seems to you that he's actually gained gray hairs, and looks older now than he did the last time you saw him. He clearly has something. There's something else going on here, but he opens his arms to you and says, "Hello, my friends. Any updates on your mission?"
We found Endemar.
And where is he?
He's in the bag.
He. So he. Well, in terms of his actual facial reaction, he seems very not disappointed, but certainly this isn't exactly what he was expecting. And he says to you,
In all fairness, he never specified what condition.
He says, "I was looking for this man to be alive."
Well, we were too, but it turns out those priests with the flamethrowers got to him first.
He nods, says, I see. Well, come this way. And he stands up from the gazebo and starts walking toward the back of the palace, where there's like a small door into a little room. And you guys follow him?
Yeah.
Sure. This feels like a trap.
So he leads you guys into the room, and it's like a small waiting room. And he says, "Please take a seat here, and allow my men to take the Endemar from you." And the
You do know he ate people, right? Like that's what he did.
Von Heller looks shocked and says, "What do you mean?"
I mean, there were people, and he put them in his mouth and chewed them up and swallowed them.
I don't understand. Why?
Um, who knows where thoughts come from? He was a weird guy.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. I have to.
That's why those what were those priests called again?
Which ones? The flamethrower ones?
Yeah, the burning ones.
The
Avestites.
Yeah, that's why the Avestites burned him.
Hmm. This is interesting. He says, and he nods and walks off into a like there's another door on the other side of the room. He walks off into and closes the door behind him. And you sit there for a little while, like, you know, you wait for him, and it seems like he's been in there for quite a while, like a little longer than it should be. But nothing happens. Do you guys want to do anything or just wait?
I mean, I still feel like it's a trap, but how much was he going to pay us? Like 250 Firebirds?
I think so, yeah. Let me check.
I thought it was 300 each.
I think you brought it up to 250.
Oh, okay.
250 each. Or tech if you decide, or if you want to do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's the
I
one.
mean, it feels like a trap, but that's a lot of booze.
There's a lot of booze. You're all right. Okay, so Von Heller emerges back from the room and says, "My friends, I have another task for you, and sadly I can't pay you until you fulfill this one for me as well."
That wasn't really part of our deal.
Von Heller says, "Well, here's the thing, my friends. You're outside of the normal power structure of Pandemonium. Things rarely change here, and so to get anything done, you need people from elsewhere. And so I need something from you."
Talk first, pay us for this job, then we'll consider your new job.
He says, "Well, you see, there's going to be a meeting in the court of Count Enos Sharn. If you guys don't remember, Enos Sharn is like the ruler of the planet, who is Decados. He says, one of my political rivals, I don't know if you've ever heard of the name, but Emil Saladin al-Malik. You see, he is an al-Malik that has been very interested in the power structure of Pandemonium and how he can alter it. And I look to increase my power as one does, but Saladin is not only greedy, but quite cunning. I believe that he has placed some rumors about that cause the, shall we say, pandemonium that has led to many of my men being killed. And at this moment, it actually occurs to all of you that this palace, which the last time you were here was bustling with mantis guards and other people, is actually quite empty. That's what's different from last time. There are many fewer guards. And he says, my men are dropping dead across the city. I don't know why, but I think that Al-Malik has something to do with it.
Also, what had something to do with it was them trying to kill us.
Who, the Al-Malik?
No, your guys.
Oh, he says, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I show him, the front of my armor with the shotgun blast and be like, your Mantis Knights did this.
He nods to himself and says, well, I am paying you, and to be honest with you, I will say that if my Mantis Knights did it to you, you probably deserved it. But
You
this
haven't paid us yet.
This is a no questions asked situation. He pulls from his back pocket 100 Firebirds and hands 25 to each of you. finish this for me and make it 300 Firebirds.
So he wants us. Does he want us to kill somebody?
He wants you.
Like, is
he
this an
wants-
assassination mission?
He wants you guys to take care of Saladin al-Malik, whatever that means for you. So you can assassinate him. You can talk to him and figure out what he's trying to do.
Yeah, we'll do this.
Well,
Isn't
I
he
would
the-
probably say
I-
something to the
I have a
effect
plan,
of,
Jen. Don't
"I'm not
worry.
an assassin."
Jen,
So, like, I'd like throw the money down or something and say, "I'm no assassin," with
Jen,
like
I got
nonverbal
this.
communication.
I got this. Trust me.
Hang on, isn't that the guy with the tech and the engineer quarters?
Who? Saladin al-Malik? Yes, he is
Yeah.
the one who owns all of that tech.
So my character is going to be kind of interested when she hears the name because she remembers Andamar saying that same name is the one who owns the tech.
Okay. So are you guys going to do it?
I'll tell Von Heller that we'll do it.
Okay. He says, "Gentlemen, I couldn't be more grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't be more grateful. And I am in your debt. Quite literally now." He looks to the door and says, "Now please, there is little time." And like gestures for you to leave.
All right, guys, let's go and make our plan.
My character will be like whispering to you guys, it's like, with him dead, we can claim the tech as ours.
When Devona says that, I'll give her a little bit of a withering glance. Like, this is not going to be an assassination mission.
No, it's absolutely not. But let's discuss that after we leave the Decados estates and get back to Mama Jazzy's.
I just follow him.
I did
Okay.
too.
Follow him out.
But as you're leaving the Decados Estates, you do notice that there is almost like 3/4 of the Mantis Knights that were here last time are just gone. And I mean, you can assume they're out in the streets, or you can assume they were killed dead by someone.
I'm surprised neither of you guys talked about the assassination of the knights in front of the starport.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that.
It
I
was a
don't
little
think I
bit of
was here for that. If not, I don't remember it.
I was
think
trying
you might
to.
have been not there for.
All right, guys, here's the plan, though. Okay, obviously this Von Heller guy wants this Al Malik guy dead or out of the way, but we have information now, like the Decados are in a weakened position, and that the Decados guy Von Heller wants the Al Malik guy dead. So we take that to Al Malik and sell it to him, and that's how we get paid. Because he can swoop in with all his knights while Decados is kind of weak, do what he wants to do. We get paid, we get off planet.
So basically, you're suggesting that we take the information about what he's doing to, like, the other people.
Absolutely, this guy fucked us over. I'm not going to give him a chance to do it again.
Oh, did you all add the 25 Firebirds to your inventories?
Not yet.
Yeah, throw that in there before you forget. I'll do it for Santino. Where is his money? All right, I'm just gonna write it. Oh, there it is. He has none. Good for him. He's making some money. I'm happy for him. I mean, he didn't really do much for it. Well, he had the idea. He came up with the idea. But, oh, sorry, 1 second.
I've lost track of my money.
Ah,
I don't know how much I have.
where is it? So, what are you guys going to? You're going to go to the Al Malik Estates then?
Yeah.
I mean, is this a bad plan to anybody else? and we'll just make sure that Al Malik knows that Dakados owes us money. At this point, 275 Firebirds apiece. And if he's willing to pay us that, then I'm sure he can take it out of the Dekados estates when they do their thing.
She'll be like, Devona will be like, I don't care about the money. I want the tech.
Maybe you can arrange something with them since he owns it all. But
I basically like communicate. I'm here to protect you, and that's all.
Well, are you going to the Al Malik Estates?
I'm going wherever they're going.
yeah,
I have
we'll,
the
we'll,
commitment to
we'll
follow
head
them.
that direct. First first let's go to Mama Jazzy's. And we'll take some alternate routes and try and make sure that nobody's following us. Because the last thing we want is some shitty, sneaky Dekados guy reporting to Von Heller that we left his place and went straight to Al Malik.
Okay. So you guys are making your way back to the slums, and it's like mid-afternoon-ish, because you guys woke up like in the afternoon around, or like left around afternoon. So
Can I tell if we're being followed?
it doesn't seem that you are. But when you're making your way through the streets, things seem to be a lot worse than before. As you pass the guild sector, the guilds are actively fleeing, and the Mantis Guard, which, if you remember, they were guarding the spaceport, but they're completely gone. They were overwhelmed, and now it seems that the guilds are controlling everything, and there's spacecraft, like spaceship, just lifting off one by one, getting out of then the hell out. And so the guild sector itself is relatively empty.
All right, well, if it doesn't seem like we're being followed, maybe we should go to Al Malik and see if we can get paid, then get the hell out of here.
Well, the other thing, all of you make a perception check, which would be perception and observe.
That's a pass.
What's your goal number?
I believe 16. Let's see.
Oh, so you're good.
No, 14. But yeah, it's still a pass.
All right, so I need a 9.
I didn't make that.
Rough stuff.
I'm glad I didn't roll a 20, otherwise my eyeballs would have exploded.
Yeah, exactly.
You
See, I
needed to
need
roll 2
9.
20s for that. 120, you just
Oh,
tripped
yes, I
and falling
got
some manure.
Whoa, Devona got a good one.
I'm just gonna whisper to you both, Devona and Jin.
I don't see anything.
I know, I'm still typing it.
I see dead people. There's one over there, and there's one over there.
Yeah, you guys have killed a lot of people.
We are plagued by many spirits.
Chin's probably been spending most of his time, instead of fighting, just doing the rites of the dead after we ended up killing them all. Oh, that's interesting.
Jin, take a moment to read what you got as well.
I feel so left out.
Sorry, John. You didn't see anything. Oh, I'm going to throw one more thing in for you, Devona, actually. How do you spell? Okay, there we go. So, Devona and Jin, you both have your information. Let me know what you're going to do with that, if anything at all.
I tap John on the shoulder and point to the mustache. I was like, look, there's your friend.
So, John, when you turn and you guys are passing the spaceport as this is happening, you look down like the long corridor type like thing into the spaceport, which is kind of like I'm picturing like you guys remember from Star Wars, like Hoth, that big corridor. Like it was big enough to be housing ships and stuff, but it was like just a big long corridor.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
hangar bay.
Basically that type of thing. Yeah, like an airbag. And so, John, you see um, a bunch of crates being loaded onto a ship by a muster squad, and among them you spot that sergeant that was harassing you the other day, Argos Halfman.
Okay.
That's what you see. So you guys want to do anything, or you guys want to just keep going to Mama Jazzy's? Or was it Al Malik you were going to? Sorry.
I think we changed our plan to Malik, and she's kind of interested in that crate. She's like, what's in the crate? What's in the box? And she points over to the box and what's it called? The ship. Which she doesn't like the sound of the ship.
How many guys are over there?
So it's Argos Halfman's muster squad of about 7 or 8 guys, as well as an Al Malik group of knights. So that's like 5 or 6 more guys.
Yeah, that's too many to kill and find out what's in the crates.
She's like,
And you guys already ticked off the muster, so they're not going to tell us what's in the crates.
I don't know. We've only all the witnesses are dead. They don't know we killed them.
Still not the biggest fans of you, though. I don't know. Discuss.
I mean, it's like there's a bunch of people running around escaping. Like, what's so special about this one, except that it's all Malik and Muster?
Are you asking that
I'm asking that to you guys. Like, is it worth doing anything?
Malik is the guild that is most connected to searching for second-hand Republic or second to Republic tech. And there is a lot of second Republic tech here, so that might be the crate full of second-hand Republic there. And since it's being loaded onto a ship called the Prophet's Torch, it does not sound like it's going to a Al-Malik sector of this galaxy.
Wait, what was the ship called?
The
Prophet's Torch.
So, do we want to
That doesn't sound like a name for a muster ship either.
No, it doesn't. It sounds like an Avestai ship.
So, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to try and find out what they're loading? Or do you just want to move on with what we're doing?
Oh, any of the bazaars open?
No.
So I can't
You
buy
guys sit
grenades.
tight. I'm gonna walk over there and see if I can figure out what's going on.
So you're gonna leave them behind and just go by yourself, John?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have them like stand out of sight somewhere, and then, I mean, they're muster guild. I'm muster guild. He's a sergeant. I'm a sergeant. We'll have a sergeant-y chat.
Aw. That's so cute. Okay, so you kind of, saunter over there, and you're not trying to hide or anything, right? You're just kind of strolling over.
Yeah, no, I'm just walking right over.
Okay. When you get there, one of the muster men comes, sees you, and like walks over to you and puts his hand out and says, "Halt! You do not have clearance to be here."
All right, I'll stop. I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I was just walking by, saw my guild doing something, thought maybe I could lend a hand. I'll be on my way.
You just leave.
Yeah, dude, there's like 15 guys there.
I'm just making sure, Okay, so you head back to the outside of the spaceport. What are you guys gonna do?
I mean, Al Malik. See if we can sell this information to him.
So just head over to the Almalek Estates.
I mean, unless anybody's got a different plan.
Nope.
No, I have
All
no
right.
external motivations.
Okay, so you guys head over to the Almalek Estates, which if you look, so you actually have to go the other way, over this way, into the west lane, and you can head into the Almalek Estates. So, late afternoonish, and so there.
Isn't
As you
Santino Al Malik?
know, he is Hazat.
Okay, my mistake.
Um, so you make your way down the west lane, and you come to these gigantic, ornately carved gates of bronze and gold, right? And they have the initials AM on it, which obviously stand for Al Malik. And behind the gates are a bunch of different estates that are all, wonderfully built, beautiful architecture and luxuriously decorated, and they have like sort of desert-ish hues. And if you're not picking up the hints, the Al Malik are basically like the Arabic Empire. That's their thing. I think we've discussed this before, right? Like what each
Yeah.
house is. Where like, Hawkwood's in Britain, and Decados is like Italy. Al Malik is the Middle East. Hazad is Spain, and what's the one I'm missing? Li Howland is China. Yeah, that one's pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, like it's it's a sort of Arabic vibe. But anyway,
Which I still don't understand.
what?
Arabics and being more tech based.
Oh, I don't know. That's just their thing. They're very friendly with the guilds.
They invented calculus, man.
That's true. They did do that. Well,
I thought that was Greeks.
Isaac. That was no. We're talking much later. Calculus was what's it called? There was two guys that discovered it at the same time. Fuck.
Isaac
I think one of them was Newton, or whatever. Anyway,
Anyway, I think that introducing calculus to the Western world should have also been considered an act of terror. But
hey, I'm majoring in math. All right.
yeah, I just barely passed calculus with a C. So
All right.
I
That's
love
fair.
math.
Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, so
I'm just gonna say that when they go into the place, I'm gonna wait outside because Jin has decided he doesn't like nobles. I'm going to wait outside.
okay.
I'm gonna give the sign, call me if you need me.
it's going to be hard to get you paid for this if you're not there. If we're just saying like, yeah, we have an extra guy waiting by the gate.
By the way, there's actually one more of us.
I just shrug and it's like basically saying it's not about the money to me. I don't care about the money.
Jin doesn't care if he gets paid.
Well, I mean, I'm with Brother Battle, I could just go and get a warm meal and a bed. I don't really care about money.
That's fair.
So,
All
is
right.
there any like fancy tech inside this place?
I mean, it's certainly luxury type things, like it's not like Second Republic tech where it's like, oh my god, that's worth so much money, but it's certainly these people are affluent. But the actual people, once you make your way through the Golden Gates, it's hushed conversation. And just a little backstory for you guys. I mean, they're very far from their home world. Although they're vying for power here, they're very far from their home. But anyway, so are you guys just going to make your way to like the biggest estate type of deal?
I mean, do we see a guard or something anywhere?
There's kind of guards wandering around, but no one stops you immediately.
I'm going to stop one of them and be like, excuse me, I'm looking for, what's his name, the guy in charge.
Do you actually say that, or do you say Saladin al-Malik?
Saladin al-Malik.
Oh, okay. So the guard seems pretty gracious, and he says, "Oh, yes, of course. But Saladin may be busy. I'll attempt to gain. You may be able to gain an audience with him, although it may take a little bit. Please follow me."
Yeah, if you could do me a favor when you let him know we're here. Just tell him we have something very valuable he might be interested in.
The guard says, "What?"
The most valuable thing of all, my friend. Information about his enemies.
The man smiles and says, "Ah, the Mantis Knights."
Maybe. We'll see how much he's willing to pay.
Okay. Um, and like when this guy says Mantis Knights, like all of the people around you seem like, they all like scowl at you, like, ugh. That just the name Mantis Knights is almost like taboo here. Um, but so the people around you. I mean, he walks off and in the direction of like one of the closer estates, one of the largest ones as well. And the people around you seem pretty not friendly because it's a little bit tense here. But servants and whatnot, they seem to be pretty. I guess gracious is the right word. Um, do you want to talk to any of them, or just remain silent and wait?
I thought we were gonna follow the guy.
Oh, do you want to follow the guy?
Yeah, I thought that's what we were supposed to do.
Okay, if you guys follow him into the estate, you can kind of wait in like not like a lobby area type of thing, and there are servants there as well if you wish to interact with them. Or you
Yeah,
can
I'll
just.
make some small talk. Hey, how's it going? How's life treating you?
Mhm. One of the servants that you interact with, actually, give me a presence and what's it called?
Influence.
Thank you. Jesus Christ, I had a quick brain fart there. Okay, so yeah, give me presence and influence. What's your? Ooh, roll that again. Oh man.
Well, at least he didn't stab me to death.
Yeah. Okay, so um, the specific one that you talk to seems very cold to you and doesn't want to talk to you, and it's quite clear, and it almost seems it's because of, and it seems that at first he seemed pretty nice and gracious to you, but then he noticed your I'm sorry, mustard garb, and then he turned cold.
I mean, that's fair. We're not a well-liked group.
No, you're not. Um, do you guys just want to wait, or
I will
Jin,
tell the
or
guy that I'm not here on any official muster business, so if that helps to allay any of his concerns.
he's going to be taken as a slave? When you mean say tech, do you mean like really fancy stuff, or do you just mean like, oh, like there's I mean they have like very, there's high tech stuff, but it's not like anything valuable where it's like, oh, it's um like small movie theater type of thing, or like one of those more
Something,
luxury items.
yeah. She would probably be interested in the luxury items. Like, she'll like to like walk over and like study it and analyze it.
Okay.
I mean, you gotta think she's like a techophiliac or some whatever you want to say. She loves tech. It's like her entire life.
Right. Oops, sorry, I dropped my pen.
So if
Um,
there's
Around, there's not much specifically in the lobby where you're sitting. Um, it seems that, especially because there are people here that seem to be more, not panicked, but certainly not as well as they would be in normal times. It doesn't seem to be that people are like flaunting their tech or anything like that. Um, what would you just? Do you want to just look around? Do you want to go anywhere else, or just stay in the room and look around?
well, she's gonna kind of wander around, looking around, but stay kind of like in an eye shot of the group.
Okay. Yeah, you don't find anything. Nothing truly interesting.
Okay. But I guess she's just gonna be wandering around, looking at everything while she waits for the guy to come and introduce us.
Okay, so the same guard comes back and gestures for you to follow him up this big set of ornate stairs. beautifully carved from marble, and you guys walk up them and into a smaller back room where um, where a man is sitting upon a throne, like very pleasant looking guy, and but certainly a warrior at some point in his life, and his eyes seem to be very knowing. He has well tailored clothing, which is pretty plain, and is smoking an exotic cigar as you walk into the room.
I'm not gonna full on bow, but I'll give him like a kind of a deeper head nod than usual and say
Aw.
Saladin Al Malik.
He seems to be very warm and friendly to you. Um, uh,
My character will do like a curtsy like gesture,
Mhm.
female polite bow type thing. Even though
Okay.
she's not in a dress.
Right. Um, so he says, "Welcome to my humble abode," and he gestures to a few of his servants and says, "Would you like any refreshments or anything like that? You may use my servants for any minor errands you may need to run."
I would kill for a drink right about now. I mean, I wouldn't actually kill for one, but you know what I'm saying.
He gives a deep chuckle and says, "What do you drink? Whiskey?"
I'll drink
Oh,
paint thinner if it's hard times.
But what is your drink of preference, my friend?
Whiskey'll do, thank you.
Okay.
actually,
And
when John says I'll kill for a drink, she's like, "Didn't you already do that earlier?"
Saladin's face kind of twists a little bit and he says, "What was that?"
She's like, "I'm joking."
He sits back in his chair, kind of interested, and he says, "Well, anyways, I wish to clear up any misunderstandings that you may have had with my men, although it would seem that you have information that you wish to share with me."
Well, it's not so much that I wish to share. Um, here's the whole situation. Um, so Baron von Heller of the Decados hired us to do a job for him.
What job?
Uh, he wanted us to find the person that he had lost. We found the guy, and then von Heller decided he didn't need to pay us until we did another job for him, which I consider kind of a large breach of contract and just an all around shitty thing to do.
He sits forward in his chair and says, "Who was this person?" And it's the glint in his eyes tells you something more, John, that he almost exactly knows who's being talked about.
Uh, well, let's circle back to that later in the conversation, maybe. Uh, Here's the bottom line. Baron von Heller owes us a total of 1,100 Firebirds, and you, being the guy that you are, I feel that you would like to pay his debt for him.
Hmm. He sits deeply in his chair and he like taps his chin, takes a puff of his cigar, and says, "And you can guarantee me that this information is worth my payment."
I can guarantee you the information is useful to you. What you do with it, how you use it, that's going to determine how much it's actually worth.
Hmm. So he takes deep sighs, and he seems to be thinking very deeply. And he says, "I'm sorry if it's a problem. I'm just thinking."
No, take your time. I understand. 1,100 Firebirds is no, it's not like you just found that between the couch cushions.
Um, So he says, "What new information is there to give me beyond who this person was that was being searched for?"
Well, how about the idea that the second job that he wanted us to do was to kill you?
He nods and says, "You're making mistakes, my friend. You're telling me the things I need to know without me paying you."
Not giving you any, not telling you the when or the where.
He says, "Well, I can tell by the fact that you're standing in front of me asking for payment from me for the information that you had no plans on following through with it just yet. And I'm sure you're aware that my guards are more than well equipped to take care of you if you were to get any ideas at this very moment."
I understand. I I appreciate good etiquette. I came here with no intention of violence. I'm rather hoping you'll let us leave with no intention of violence, no matter how this conversation goes.
He looks at the rest of you and says, not like other than John, he says, "What do you have to do with this?"
Jin, I'm assuming you don't really say anything, but Devona?
Well, I'm outside.
Oh, my
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that's why it said a total of instead of,
Right.
275 apiece.
My character's like, I came here for Second Republic tech.
My cybernetically enhanced friend is not really what you'd call very eloquent. Um, we've worked together in the past, as well as my compatriot, Mr. Santino Della, whatever, over here. And we were all hired to do this job.
He nods and says, "Well, I'll tell you what. You give me this information, and as well as one other thing. In a few hours, all of the most important nobles on Pandemonia have been called to the court of Count Enos Sharn. Now, I need you as an outsider for a different reason to help me at this gathering. For there are some things I look to attain in, well, attending."
I feel like I've heard this before.
"And what do you mean by that?"
It's funny, we've talked to a couple of people now who talk about how our status as outsiders could help shift the balance of power on this planet.
Um, well, you see, things are rather stagnant here. But I believe that if you help me, it would be beneficial to both of us, as I'm sure that you're interested in some Second Republic tech and a little bit of payment.
As long as that payment comes out to 1,100 Firebirds, I'm okay.
He nods and says, "Well, do we have a deal?"
What is it you want us to do exactly?
Well, you see, tonight at this meeting, I'm looking to, shall we say, disarm the Mantis Guard. For if you've not noticed, not many of them are doing so well as far as enforcing the law in these streets in the last few days. I'm sure you've noticed the riots.
I have, and I have information regarding that is part of what you're buying.
Excuse me. That was out of character. I just had to burp. Well, Count Sharn is looking for a reason to. He's looking for a reason to, shall we say, give up power. And I believe that I'm the one that needs to take it from him. Now, if you help me and help me present some evidence against the ineffectiveness of the Mantis Guard, in a way sort of testify against them, you can count on my payment.
as well as if you throw in the information that you're promising me.
See, the information was for the 1100, and I feel like anything beyond that is negotiable.
All right, so give me another roll for presence and influence.
Don't go for 20.
What was the goal number?
You know, I'm gonna have to check, but I think it might have been 11.
Gasp.
Presence and influence is 11.
Ooh, roll again. All right, solid stuff. Solid stuff. Okay. So, what is the? Oh, how do you pronounce? Is it Marquis? Marquis. It's Marquis, right?
Marquis,
Yeah,
yeah.
Marquis.
That's what I thought. Okay.
It's French, so.
I have a friend whose last name is Marquis, so it's kind of, and like I tried to say it Marquis, but anyway, Marquis Al Malik, Saladin, seems he takes this into consideration and he mulls it over, takes another puff, and he says, "I can see how you may perceive that I'm in a position to pay you so much money." Hold on, I might have to sneeze. No, I'm good. Okay. But trust me in this, your perceptions are often lying to you. However, I am in a certain situation where I may be inclined to give you as much as 1,700.
I mean, I'm no mathematician, but 1700 is more than 1100.
That would be true.
She nods and says, "You are correct."
I ran the numbers, guys.
Sure,
We
he,
have a-
I'm sure the prince by now gets it that I'm just more like a big computer than a person.
All right, so what is it you want us to do exactly for this extra 600 Firebirds?
I want you to speak out against Baron Cole von Heller, against the court of Enos Sharn. You see, he's, trying to rebuild his Mantis Guard, and I don't believe that. And in like the next 2 minutes, he just goes off on a tirade about how the Mantis Knights and the Decados are ruining the planet. He turns almost a little cold, and it seems to all of you that he's kind of not crazy, but like there's something off about him. But he goes on and on about how they're destroying the system and how the whole planet would be better managed if it was under someone else's control.
Well, I don't know about that last part, but up until that, I was right there with you, brother. Those guys are dicks.
And he says,
They kill
I need-
first and ask questions later.
and he says, I need you to speak out against them in the court. Support my nomination as the new Thane of this planet, and we'll have a deal.
As outsiders, does our support actually mean anything here?
It means more, because I can push you where I need you to go.
What do you guys think?
Well, if Jin were there, he'd like it more than trying to kill someone.
I mean, this was the whole plan, was to sell them the information and get our money one way or the other.
Devona's like, money, tech,
Devona, can you give me a perception observer roll really quick? Actually, all of you. Just sorry, John and Jin. I mean, John and Devona. Give me a perception observe.
Oh, right on the money.
Is 14 your goal number?
Yeah.
So roll again. All right, good stuff.
Let me whisper some stuff to you guys. Actually,
I mean, if it's relevant, I'm gonna tell Jen when we meet up with them, anyways.
that's what I was about to say. I'll just tell you guys. Okay. Devona notices something more than you, but both of you notice, like, so you're in a large square room at the back of which is Saladin sitting on his throne type of thing. And there are servants, going this way and that. And you both notice off in a side room, like, because they're all kind of wearing similar colors and whatnot, you see a flash of a different color. And that seems very out of place here because the servants are all kind of uniformed and things like that. And so when you see there's some flash of another person in a different outfit or uniform off in like a side hallway, it throws you both a little bit. Let me whisper something to Bona.
I'm gonna point over there and be like, "Who's back there?"
1 sec. Okay, so John points and says, "Who's back there?" And Saladin turns his head and looks back at you and says, "What business is it of yours?"
Well, your servants and guards seem to be wearing one color of uniform, and somebody back there was wearing a different color. Seemed a little odd.
Doesn't that seem a little bit trivial to you to be asking of me? I'm allowed to have guests in my home, am I not?
Absolutely, you're allowed to have any guest you like, but as a fellow guest, I'm assuming I'm a guest. I would like to think that I'm a guest.
Uh,
I feel like I'm entitled to ask questions, and you, as a host, should be concerned for my safety.
And he, like, looking at you like, don't like you. And he, you gonna cut into him?
Yeah, while John was trying to say all that, she kind of like gives him a nice big elbow, and it's like, and whispers in his ear, it's like, "It's a mustard."
It's a mustard.
Mustard.
Devona, can you give me? I'm gonna make you roll something social right now, which I know is just the bane of your existence.
Oh gosh.
To whisper that in his ear. Did you want Saladin to not hear that, or were you okay with him hearing it?
I guess she's okay with him hearing it because he's like, "Who is that?" And Jay's like, she's going to kind of like elbow him. It's like, "It's a mustard."
So you are okay. You're not even going to attempt to hide the fact that you're saying this.
Well, he's asking who it is, and
no, I mean, like, are you going to whisper it to him, or are you just going to say it?
she's just going to say it because she's
Okay.
kind of dense like that with social stuff.
Right. Okay. So Saladin stands up and says, "What business is of you? I ask again, what business is it of yours? What guests I have in my home? Now, do we have a deal or not? If not, I ask that you get out."
I mean, first of all, yeah, I think we got a deal here, but second of all, maybe you didn't notice that I'm betraying the guy that tried to pay me to kill you. And that makes me a little paranoid because those guys are sneaky and they're fucking everywhere.
Is that all?
Yeah, I'm just making sure nobody was going to knife me in the back later.
Well,
Devona will be like, "I don't want to be a slave."
I mean, that's kind of my shtick, you know?
at this point, like, things have gone a little bit off for him, and he, his hair has fallen in his face a little bit, and he, like, blows and brushes it to the side and says, "Well, if we have a deal, we have a deal." And he, standing, he, like, walks forward a few steps and juts his hand out to you, John.
It'll definitely shake his hand.
Definitely. He looks over to a servant and says, "Get them some payment." And he, like, turns around and walks off and gestures for you to follow him.
Wait, the servant or
No, Salad.
Yeah, I'll follow him.
Okay, so he,
We're all falling.
you go up to his like throne thing and sits down and says, "So what is this information you have for me?"
All right. First of all, the guy Baron von Heller hired us to find. I get the feeling you know this already, but it's an engineer named Endemar.
He doesn't even seem at all surprised by the.
We did find him, unfortunately, the fucking priest, flamethrower priests.
Avestites.
Avestites, thank you. Unfortunately, the Avestites found him first. Turns out Endemar had a taste for people. He liked eating people. There's really no good way to say that.
He nods and says, "And
And then we took the body to Baron von Heller. He refused payment for a task until we killed you at the meeting you're going to be attending. And as a last note, just in case you wanted to try and make a power play, I'd say his Mantis Knights are down to somewhere between 25 and 35% of their normal strength right now, as far as numbers go.
give me a perception check, John."
Just
And
straight perception.
perception and observe.
I think my goal number is like 11 or 12. Either way, that passed.
Yeah. Devona?
You didn't ask me for it, so I didn't roll.
Okay. So just for John.
I can roll, though, if you want.
Go ahead.
Alright, that's a pass. It's 14, remember?
All right. So then I'll just tell both of you. When you told him that Endemar, it's not Endemar. Sorry. When you told him that you, excuse me. When you told him that the Mantis Knights were down to like almost a quarter of where they were originally, he not only did he not look surprised, it seems to you that not only did he already know this, he smiles in a way that says to you almost he has something to do with it.
And I will relate to him the story about crushing the one knight's hand, breaking his arm, just to let him know, like, I'm sure you know this already, but these guys are kind of pushovers. This is the kind of people they're putting in command right now.
He nods with a smile on his face after hearing this story about, you beating up a Decados guard, and says, "Well, it is." And also the thing that you notice about him, because he went from at the beginning seeming very, very open and gracious to you, to suddenly very cold when you were asking about whoever was back in that other hallway. Back now to shaking his hand, making this deal. He seems very bipolar. He's switching his moods very quickly.
I'm expecting that's because we're giving him information about his enemies. At least I'm hoping that's what it is, and that he's not just crazy.
He's just insane. So you guys take the deal and you step. So as you're finishing up your talk, the guard comes out with a big briefcase and opens it up, and inside is all you can tell for now is just a fuck ton of Firebirds.
Hey, Devona, are you like Rain Man autistic? Can you count that real quick?
I believe she is.
I don't know why this just popped into my head. Have any of you guys ever seen Austin Powers?
Yeah.
I've heard
It's
of
been a
it.
long ass time.
No, I just thought of that scene where like Dr. Evil was gonna pay him for something, and he like had a briefcase that he said had $1 million in it, and then he counted it, and he was like, "Sorry, you're like $300 short." And he's like, "Well, I had to buy the case." And he's like, "Well, you told me you had $1 million." And I'm like, "Well, the case is worth, with the case, it's worth $1 million." It's like, "Yeah, but you said it was." It was really funny. Anyway, I'm sorry I got off topic.
I was actually kind of hoping. I don't know if you've seen that Dodgeball movie.
I love Dodgeball.
Was it Dodgeball? Where it might not have been Dodgeball. Anyways, the guy has the briefcase with like $50,000 in it, and he opens it up, and there's like one stack of bills in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What do you want? It's $50,000. It's not that much money."
No, you open it. He opens it up, and it's a fuck ton of cash.
Does it look like it could be between 11 and 1700?
Yes.
All
Does
right,
my
so
character do the count?
yeah, I mean, can Devona like Rain Man count that, like the toothpicks on the floor?
I don't know about that. I think that would be an analytical situation, like observe. What other analytical skills are there? Nope, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Here we go. Analytical skills. I, I would say. I don't really see how. That's kind of ridiculous unless you like literally go through the cash really quickly.
Well, she would pick up like one, estimate how much is each stack, and then count how many stacks there are, and estimate to that.
Is it like coins or is it like paper money?
Paper.
Well, how do we know it's not just like 100 rolled around a bunch of ones?
That would actually be hysterical. Um, okay, so Devona, do you want to count it?
Sure.
All right, so you go in and pull out a stack, and you fan through it, and it's purely based on the calculations that you can do in your head pretty briefly. It seems to be it has to be somewhere at least 1,100 fibers, and it may be as much as 1,700. You know, it's in that range.
I'll tell Saladin. I'll be like, "Don't mind her. She really likes counting things. I trust you."
He says, "No, not a problem. I understand that you're not in exactly a trusting mood after dealing with Von Heller."
Well, he did sour me on Decados a little bit. I have to be honest about that.
That is fair enough, he says, and then kind of takes another puff of the cigar and just blows it up in the air in like a ring.
So, two questions.
Yes.
First, what are the chances of me getting one of them fancy cigars? Second, when's this meeting?
He snaps, and then almost like on cue, you feel a tap on your shoulder, and behind you there's a servant holding a cigar and like a golden lighter.
I will graciously take the cigar, thank Solid, and be like, "This is a nice setup. I got to get me one of these guys."
So you take the light, I'm assuming, and
Yes.
so I'm sorry. What was the second question?
When is this meeting gonna happen?
I mean, out of character, say it's like 3 in the afternoon. It's around 6, maybe 7,
So about 4 hours from now.
roughly, like a while.
All right. So, do we have time to? I'm sure we have time to go back and explain to Jen what's happening.
Yeah, of course. Getting all the way to Mama Jazzy's, you have to, like make a little bit of a hustle.
Nah.
Yeah, we'll because this thing shouldn't take more than a couple hours, and I'm sure that Endemar. I mean, we took him an arm or something to snack on, so he's probably good.
Devona's gonna
I'm gonna ask for a messenger though, if we can get a messenger to run over to Mama Jazzy's for us.
From Saladin?
I mean, anybody who's willing to take a message for us for a few Firebirds.
Okay. So Saladin offers to have a messenger takes a message over to Mama Jazzy's. And of course, it's free. You don't have to pay them. But what message would you give? And to who?
I'd like to send a message to Mama Jazzy for starters, saying that we're a little bit delayed. If the room time runs over, we're good for it. We will be back in a few hours. And also one to Endemar, Aaron, and Ella, just saying, sit tight. We're coming back. It'll be a few more minutes, a couple more hours, kind of a thing.
You're addressing it to who?
One to Mama Jazzy, one to Indamar and Aaron and Ella.
Okay, so you give them the message, and then when you say like the second one would be addressed to Endemar, Aaron, and Ella,
Except
Saladin's.
no, no,
So
no. I'm not saying that it's going. I'm saying that, and we have friends that are staying there.
okay, okay, close one. Um, okay, so he takes you write it down on a note, or you just tell him.
It'll be a note, and I will seal it
Okay,
with something somehow. I don't know.
yeah, there's like stationery that they can give you. He runs off with the two notes in hand. Little, just a little young man in garb of the Al Malik. But anyway,
And
Saladin says,
I'll go fill Jen in on what's happening too.
as you're leaving,
Wait,
Saladin
wait, wait,
says,
wait. Before we leave, I was gonna ask, hey John, can I take my share of the money and try to buy some, exchange it for secondhand tech or Second Republic tech?
Yeah, actually, instead of walking around with a briefcase full of cash, I was going to ask Solid if he could kind of sit on it for us until we're through with this meeting.
Saladin says, of course, it's not a problem.
I mean, not literally sit on it, but
Yeah.
And she's gonna kind of like, can do you have any secondhand Republic I can change my share into? And she's gonna try to explain her business and what she wants the tech for.
I'm sorry. What was you're asking? What they want the tech for?
No, she's wanting like either a laser rifle or a plasma blaster or something. Try to exchange her. She doesn't need the cash basically, and she's more wanting to exchange her share of the cash for a second Republic weapon.
Do you want to just change all of it for cash? You get, what was it, 250, 200, 275. And you just want to turn all of that into some sort of
well, it's 275 plus, I guess, another 150 if he gave us an extra 600 Firebirds.
yeah.
Yeah, she just wants a weapon, a Second Republic weapon.
Okay. So Saladin says, as far as Second Republic tech goes, I have luxury items, medical gear, some various drugs and poisons, as well as some weapons and I'm not sure that your share will cover, but think machines as well.
Uh,
And some communications devices.
she'll go with the weapon because that's what her business is primarily built around.
Okay. So you're basically looking at energy weapons. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, sorry, you have 275 as well as another 150, so that's 425.
And she can throw in some extra money to sweeten the pot.
Can you just go through, just add add the 425 to your current count of Firebirds, and then just go look through the energy weapons chart and just figure out what you want to buy.
Okay.
We'll deal with that later. So then we'll take that out of the pot, and then there's basically just 3 shares worth for John, Jin, and Santino.
I'm wondering if we should kick in like 25 Firebirds a piece for like Aaron because his bar got trashed, partially because of us.
Just a little
What do you
bit.
mean, partly because of us? We did nothing. It was the Mantis gods that came in and burned it before we did anything.
That's right, but he is helping us get off planet.
Yeah, but you were saying like we were the reason his bar got burned down. At least that's what I was getting out of it.
Well, no matter the case, we'll discuss the distribution of money later.
So where are you guys gonna go from the Al Malik Estates? I mean, I'm assuming you head outside, catch up Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming we're gonna hang out with not necessarily with Saladin, but in his place until he's ready to go to this meeting that we're going to go to him with.
Oh, okay. So then, in that case, you guys stay in the Al Malik Estates and just kind of mingle around. Do you guys want to talk to anyone or just sit around?
Again, make small talk with some folks, have a few drinks,
Okay, so
relax mostly.
then yeah, just give me another presence influence roll. Do you want to make small talk to Vona?
No, she's too busy looking at her new gun.
That's fair. Okay. This time
Jin
around,
just
John.
stares at everyone.
That's fair.
Stares at
It's
everyone.
understandable.
As
Making them
Jen's
nervous.
glaring at people,
It's probably a good thing you didn't bring Jin with you because he has a disconcerting effect in social situations.
That is true. But so you're making a little small talk and having a drink with a servant. Of course, that whiskey came out for you after the whole conversation ended. But so you're interacting. You're having a nice little conversation with the servant, and you pick up the information that this servant specifically is aware that Endemar was taken into the estates under armed guard. They're also aware that Saladin has been seeing muster retainers, as well as his normal Amal knights lately. What now? John, you there?
yeah, I'm sorry. Never mind. Any idea specifically why he's got these muster retainers? Is he just like beefing up security or what?
It seems that he is striking some deal with them, and he's been talking to them a lot. It seems that the Al Malik and the Muster have been kind of fostering a closer relationship recently.
I don't see any problem with that necessarily.
Why would you?
I mean, the one signs my paychecks, the other one just gave me a shit ton of Firebirds. I'm cool with this.
So, if that's it, then a few more hours pass. The sun is starting to set on this final night, and
Wouldn't
as I
mind
am,
having the opportunity to clean up a little bit, also.
oh, of course. You can clean out your wound, but so Saladin comes back and says, "It's time to go. We have to go to this meeting is finally," and he seems to be definitely anticipating it. And he guides you, the lot of you, with a bunch of armed guards, a bunch of Al Malik knights, guards you to and escorts you to the estate of Enos Sharn, which is, if you look, I think it's this one right here in the middle. I could check it. Hold on. I don't know where to find it, actually, where it would be written.
I mean, I'm good with calling and saying it's there.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Actually, wait, I think it's right here. No. Okay, whatever. So, yeah, in which case, they guide you to Enos Sharn's palace, I guess you could say, and nobles from all of the different estates. So you see groups of Decados as well as Hazat and Imperials, Hawkwoods, nobles of all different places are being taken to the into the meeting, and as you're surrounded with armed guard, you see a group of Decados Mantis Knights, and one of them looks at you, like John, and makes direct eye contact with you, and seems to be not freaked out, but he seems very thrown, and it seems like he's trying to recognize you.
Is
Do I
it the one
recognize
you
him?
messed up?
He's a mantis guard, and you've definitely seen him at the palace before, at Cole von Heller's palace, but not you've never directly interacted with him. He's just a generic mantis guard.
I'm gonna hold my hand up and do the thing where I like crank beside my hand and my middle finger comes up, and then crank it back down.
Oh. um.
Like, blast you, Mantis Guard.
Okay, so when you do that, he like seems to almost like try and take a step forward and come at you, and then one of his friends grabs him by the arm and holds him back. Holy shit, that is combative. Okay. Um.
You guys saw the robot chicken where Boba Fett did that.
Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah,
Star
that
Wars
was
one's so
great.
funny. So, you're called in. You're all brought into the to this court, and it's more or less like a large noble court. Imagine like medieval times type of thing. And Count Enos Sharm, you're finally seeing him for the first time. An older man certainly has seen many days, but and has seen better days. Um,
Hey, is that lady
he
with the
kind of
scar?
similarly to Von Heller seems to be very aged. I'm sorry, were you saying something, John?
Yeah, is that lady with the scar there?
You don't directly see her, no.
All right, that's cool.
Um, so you're just you're seeing, looking around. There's a bunch of different nobles from all different houses here, and okay, cool. How much is that, Devona?
700.
And you have enough money to cover that?
Yep.
Cool. Now you finally have something other than your assault rifle.
No,
Not assault rifle, sorry. Like it's like a rifle though.
yeah, it's a bolt rifle. It's
Yeah.
closer to a sniper.
Oh, okay. So, anyway, you also see Cole von Heller coming into the building, and he's kind of looking around, and he seems very cautious. But he doesn't notice you guys right away. Do you guys want to say or do anything with it to him?
No.
Nah, I'll let this one slide.
Okay. And he looks over, he's looking around, and he sees you guys, and he sees that you're standing with Saladin al-Malik. And at first, he seems confused, and he seems vastly worried. And then, almost like something ticks in his head, and he looks at you and like winks and gives you a thumbs up.
I'll give him a thumbs up back, and then I'll point and mouth very exaggeratedly, "You should have paid us."
He then again like looks really confused and worried, and mouths back, "What?"
I'll rub my thumb and my fingers together, the universal symbol for money.
Of course.
And then give a shrug and then sort of gesture to Saladin.
Cold.
Uh-oh.
So once everyone is gathered and has taken their seats, Count Enos Sharn stands up and says, "We've been gathered here today to take an account of the events of the past few days, widespread rioting, looting, and the possibility of the moon Everlight crashing into the planet." And he like gestures to, excuse me, sorry. So he gestures to like one of his, I guess you could say secretaries, and they start giving an account of objectively what's been happening in the past 2 days as far as numbers go. With like this many people have fled the city, and the Mantis Knights have lost these many people, and it is true that almost 3/4 of the Mantis Knights have been killed, which is like an absurd number because we're talking like maybe a 500-person organization. If that. So a large number of people have been killed and not many are left. But Um, as these numbers are being accounted, Von Heller seems to be almost retreating into himself and that seems very upset, almost taking it as a personal failure. And after all these numbers have been accounted for, and other people from other estates, other noble houses are just going on and on, dribbling about what's been happening over the past 2 days, their perspectives of it. But nothing seems to be really interesting to you, the lot of you at least. And there's, I guess you could call it, I don't know actually what they would call it in a specific court, but it's sort of like an unmoderated caucus in which you guys are allowed to mingle and talk to other members of the noble houses. And Cole von Heller pulls you aside, the lot of you, and says, "What the hell do you think you were doing? I called you. I wanted you to come help me here because I needed your help against Saladin. Why are you with him?"
Because you didn't pay us, fuckface.
And he says, "I promised you all payment. I just needed your help with this last task." And he
Yeah, I
starts.
can't take promises to the bank. And by the way, Saladin, he paid your debt, so we're square as far as I'm concerned. Although you might owe Saladin some money now.
He starts looking like really worried, and his eyes start widening, and he's panicking. And he just like starts walking away, like muttering to himself. And Saladin approaches you and says, "What was that about?"
Oh, he was just asking why you were still upright and breathing, more or less.
And what did you tell him?
I told him that we opted not to do that because he didn't pay us, but that he might owe you the money that you paid us, that he owed us. I mean, that's how loan sharking and debts work, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So he smiles and nods and says, "I like you. What is your name?"
John Havelock.
He nods and says, "You muster seem to be very good at getting things done," and walks away. When the court is called back, Saladin is called upon to give an account of the situations, and he starts commenting on the ineffectiveness of the Mantis Guard. Again, going off on a similar tirade to the one he went off on before, talking about how the Mantis Guards are the real problem and that they are ineffective in keeping the peace. And Cole von Heller interrupts him in the middle of his grandstanding speech, yelling about how the guilds are actually the root of the problem. But at this moment, Saladin calls forward his new witnesses and asks for you all to testify against the effectiveness of the Mantis Guard. Enos Starn,
I'm obviously not going to come forward because I can't speak.
fair.
So,
Count Enos Sharn looks upon you, the group of the three of you, and says, "What evidence do you have to present to us?"
So, Devona, in her autistic way, is like, I seen the Mantis Guards kill people outright for no reason and burn buildings down for no reason.
Yes, the Mantis Knights seem to have the idea that keeping order means firebombing a building full of civilians.
"What are you referring to?" he says, almost outraged.
The group of Mantis Knights that burned Aaron's Bar, whatever it was called.
What was that?
What it, whatever Aaron's Bar is called. I forget the name of it, but the group of
Aaron's
Mantis
Bar.
Knights that threw a live grenade into it, an incendiary grenade, when it was still full of people.
Right. So, as you say this, the groups of nobles start, whispering to each other and talking, and like.
Also, I'm going to relay the story of how I'm going to leave out the fact that he was trying to arrest Santino, but that the Mantis Guard were trying to arrest that one guy, and I intervened and ended up breaking his hand.
She's going to talk about the riots in the slums where they just came around slashing everyone they saw.
Hmm. Yeah. That one mantis. Oh man, I just got called. Memories. That one mantis guard that you pissed off that one time, and then there was the fire bombing, and then you just blew his head off. Good times. Anyway.
Oh, don't
Um.
forget in the bar where John got the first critical failure, and he ended up shanking that one night.
Right. So. Okay. So the
What I'm getting at is that the Mantis Knights, even when they are attempting to keep the peace, are at best highly ineffectual and at worst antagonistic and dangerous.
um, Enos Sharn seems to be surprised by this, and certainly, confused about how to react to it. The rest of the nobles are muttering and talking about it, and
In addition, I would like to say a few words about Baron von Heller, who I believe is the head of the Mantis Knights.
Enos Sharn says, "Please do."
He has demonstrated himself to be most dishonorable and treacherous.
And how is that? You were
Well,
speaking of a member of my own house. Be aware, Muster.
I am aware, sir, and I'm sure that this is not news to you. You've known him for much longer than I have. I will, as best I can, without going into too many details, definitely leaving out the Endemar part, um, or the name Endemar at least, that von Heller hired us to do a job and then refused to pay us until we did a second job, which was the attempted assassination of Al Malik, who actually never did anything bad to us. So,
Enos Sharn nods to himself and says, "All this information will be taken into consideration. You are dismissed," he says to the lot of you. And Saladin turns to you and says, "You have fulfilled your duty to me. Thank you very much for your cooperation. And if you have any further questions for me, you know where to find me." And he gestures for you to leave.
yeah, this seems like a good time to get out of here.
Just
To
before we
us.
get shanked.
Yeah, I was
Skedaddle.
about to say, but before we get ambushed by like a dozen Mantis Knights on the way out, like all the ones that are left are sent on a mad
The three
quest for
guys that are left
revenge.
are like, "Those motherfuckers." Okay, so um,
On the way out, I will. I mean, this is still like a mingling thing, right?
what? Oh, no, there's just a lot of muttering going on. It's not
All
like
right,
it's a
all right. I will. Kind of on the way out, if Von Heller is paying any attention at all to us, I'll give him a big thumbs up like he gave me when we walked in.
Oh God.
He's gonna be really ticked at you now.
Wow, that's impressive.
You made a new friend, Devona will say.
I make friends everywhere I go.
Just don't make friends of me. She says in a joking way.
Okay, so here's my thought for you guys as a GM, completely out of character. I will say that you guys have done and there's still some loose ends to tie up, but you guys have actually played the situation pretty damn well. Much better than I thought it was going to go. But where do you want to go next? Do you want to go after the Second Republic tech if you can find it? Do you want to go back to Mama Jazi's? What's the plan?
Well, you know my character. She would definitely want to go after the tech.
I mean, we could at least walk by the building and see if it's still covered over.
Okay. When you guys make your way over to the engineer sector, there seems to be a little bit of ruckus going on in the spaceport, but when you make your way all the way to the engineer sector, there's no one surrounding that large brick building that was originally you knew was containing the Second Republic tech. Like there's no one guarding it.
I wonder if there's no one guarding it because there's nothing there, because that's what was loaded up in all those crates.
Probably. Devona will still walk over and investigate to see if there is anything in there. But she
Yeah, we
doesn't have
can
her
rattle it.
hopes up.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, she doesn't have her hopes up.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it doesn't hurt to go over and rattle a doorknob or two.
you're gonna go over and try and open the door?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you walk up to the front door of the like the big double doors of the old factory, and you walk in, and it's empty. You can't see anything in here. There's definitely hints that there were once people here and things stored here, but it's mostly just an abandoned factory at this point. Boot marks in the dust is all that's left.
I'm assuming we went back and got our money that Saladin was holding for us, right?
You could just say he brought it with you to the meeting and then he gave it to you when you left.
That's good.
But yeah, so what do you guys want to do?
I mean, I don't know, guys. As far as I know, there's not much left to do except to gather everybody up and try and get off planet.
Yeah. Before the moon crashes onto it.
So, if you make your way out to the main bazaar area in front of the spaceport, you actually see smoke rising as you're making your way over there. Maybe you hear your step, maybe you don't, but once you get there, you can see there's a public burning going on. And laying next to the main source of the fire, where there's all kinds of things on fire, you can't really see what. There are smashed crates, and the outsides of the crates bear the name Emil Saladin al-Malik. And there are Vestites breathing their flamethrowers into the heart of the fire to keep it going. Those that aren't are inciting the crowd and preaching to them about how the Pan Creator would cure their heresy at the end of their flames. And you actually notice among them, one of the Vestites is holding Endemar. And two more are holding Aaron and Ella.
How many Vestites are there?
We're talking 15-ish.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
This had to happen. He's
Actually,
blasted
no.
a Vestite.
Call it 8. Call it 8.
Okay, eight's easier. 8 I can deal with.
I'm good for maybe 2 of them.
Well, my character is going to kind of go over to like I guess you would say a sniper perch. Climb up on one of the buildings.
I'm surprised you're not more upset that there's probably tech on fire.
Oh, she's pissed off and she wants all of them dead.
Are any of the
Devona
Vestites that...
mad.
Why do you think she's getting up in a sniper position?
Are any of the Vestites that giant one?
Yeah, he's the one holding Endemar. And the people in the crowd, some of them are like thriving off of having this preached to them, and some of them are like screaming about the tech and yelling to let go of the of Aaron, Ella, and Endemar, but they're not. They're being held at bay mostly. All of the crowd.
Do these guys have energy shields?
It doesn't look like it.
They're fanatics, of course not.
So wait, do the Vestites and the Brother Battle kind of both the Pan Creator type thing?
I mean, they're all
Oh.
they're sects of the church, so yeah.
How would they respond to me like running towards them with my medallion out? Like basically telling them, you better stop this right now.
They don't give a shit about you.
Then I'll keep running, and I guess what are they burning? They're burning the
So-
tank, right?
You see I mean, you can't really tell what they're burning because it's on fire, but generally speaking. But the crates that are smashed and the pieces that are laying around suggest that they have stolen crates of tech and are burning them in public display of destroying heresy. The bazaars are all closed, obviously.
So I'm going to run up, I guess, to the big guy and just kind of start gesturing wildly, like, put him down, stop what you're doing, why are you doing this?
Well,
Basically
he's
trying to, I mean, because they're not directly threatening anybody, but he's like, why, what the heck are you doing?
Right. Okay, so when you run up to him, his name was Brother Pietro, by the way. He says,
Hang on, before you do that, as Jin's running up, she's taking aim at him.
"Oh, so you're gonna take aim?
Yeah,
Okay, so then you're gonna get a +1 if you shoot next turn."
plus
Um,
2. And she's in offensive stance. Because she's
Ooh.
up now on a building. She's actually climbed up on a building. It's now aiming downward at them.
Ooh, she's pissed.
Wait, how many of these guys have flamethrowers?
All of them.
These guys really like their flamethrowers, don't
Yeah,
they?
no shit.
That's their
Um,
thing.
all right, while Jen's running at them, I'm gonna try and circle back around and get behind one of them.
Hang on. How many of them are grouped together with flamethrowers?
There's like 5 of them ish, all focusing. Oh no, there's like 3 of them ish, focusing on blowing flames into the actual big one, and then there's Brother Pietro. There's another guy that's holding Aaron and Noah, and then the rest of them are just preaching into the crowd and holding them at bay.
If I aim at the one in the middle's flamethrower pack, if I shoot it, does it blow up him and set all 3 of them on fire?
Yes, but you're also risking hurting Endemar, Ella, and Aaron.
And me.
And Jin.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a fusion cell in the mid, like over toward those guys, and yell grenade.
Is the fusion cell an explosive or a flash?
It's a
neither-
battery.
It's just a battery.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But it might buy us a couple of seconds to, stab a couple of them.
Okay, before we get into full on battle, I'm gonna I think I'm gonna stop the session here for tonight.
Okay.
We could probably use Santino for this, anyways.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say I don't think you 3 can take on all of these guys alone.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're close enough to them that flamethrowers are going to be hurting more them than they would us. We got a
Well,
sniper.
keep in mind that they're also covered in full on flame retardant robes. That's their thing.
I'm also kind of hoping that once some of the people in the crowd who aren't appreciating what they're doing see what we're doing, they might jump in.
That too. It's like if Pio's head suddenly explodes, then they might all start rushing in.
Okay, so yeah, that's where I'm gonna end it for tonight.
Probably a good time to end too. I got stuff I need to do tonight. So
Yeah, so
Alright.
I had a good time. How about you guys? I think that was good. It was a more politics-based session than we've had before, and I liked that.
Yeah.
I think John was funny.
That's true. You were.
Mess
Well,
up.
yeah.
thanks, guys, but looks aren't everything.
You did. I think you guys made the best of the situation, which is good. I'm proud of you guys. But yeah, so I'm gonna give you all, call it 4 XP, 3 XP, because there was no really fighting, which is fine. But you guys did advance the story a lot, so give you 3. Mark that down.
3 or 4?
3. Basically, for me, it's like, okay, so you get 1 for playing, and then you get 1 for if we advance the story a good amount, which you definitely did, and then you get 1 for impressive role playing, which you all did, and then you get 1 more if there was any impressive fighting, which there wasn't. So, just 3.
All right. Hey, Liam, before you jump off, did you ever find out if I could use experience to increase the, like, what is it, benefices or whatever?
Oh yeah, I don't think you can. I think that's just a character creation thing. But I can hold on. Actually, Make sure, but I'm pretty sure you.
All right.
I have been wondering, how do we climb up the ranks in our guild?
That's more of a role-playing thing, as I understand it, which is like you need to go on specific missions for them and stuff like that.
Okay.
Which, generally speaking, those would obviously be a little bit shorter than this kind of like full-on thing. But
Is that something we can do on the break period after between the campaigns?
yeah, you guys can take the time to go on like little missions, like one session things. I'm just trying to find the. Where is it? 109. Hold on.
Yeah, I know what my first what my character is going to do with her first break period is expand her business and unlock, I guess, like blaster weapons for her company.
Yeah, so you got characteristics, skills, lore, occult powers, and word. That's it.
All right, cool. That's kind of what I was wanting to do, though, was increase my rank within the guild. But Devona asked about that, so
Yeah, that's more of like a role playing thing where you need to like go on missions for them and stuff.
And I guess you can do that like after this we get done off Panmoria. We'll probably take like a month or two break between this campaign and the next, correct?
Okay.
I mean, if that was what I was understanding, what you were saying about it.
Yeah. So we can figure that out in the future. But yeah, no, that would be shorter stuff, like one or two sessions, just quick stuff. Yeah. So it's good. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Later.
all right, man, have a good one.
See ya.